Senator, thanks for coming to our region. I'll stand up, but it won't make much of a difference. You tweeted 5 hours ago that the AIMS says coastal development threatens the Great Barrier Reef.
Yeah.
Just wondering, has the AIMS actually lodged a submission against the project?
I'm not sure. That's a good question. I wouldn't have thought they would have, because they're, separate authority, but not precluded from doing so.
Well, these questions are also a balanced view. So, also on your website, you claim to be all for renewable energy alternatives.
Yes.
Do you support the carbon positive concept behind this project?
Well, I've read some detail about that, and I was intrigued at the claims made. I read the glossy document, so I haven't read anything beyond the fairly general claims made. And obviously we support renewable energy and think that's a far more sensible way to power our homes and cities and to be exporting that sort of technology. I guess my point would be, if you don't have 1,400 beds, then you don't need all of those roofs to run your solar panels to make it carbon neutral. I think you could still have a carbon neutral development that was much smaller. But, it's something that I'd like to see pursued, but in that smaller footprint way. That answers your question.
Okay. Yep. Also, if the various government departments find that the EIS is acceptable, would you actually support the project?
I have my concerns that the EIS is not based on rigorous field studies. Just from the concerns that I've heard today from some of the locals, claims that particular freshwater turtles have never existed on the island, and yet one of the locals says, well, actually every time it rains she sees them in this particular spot. So there's a lot of concerns about the independence of environmental impact statements right across the country, and Queensland's no exception to that. And we see a lot of development that's approved by both state and federal governments that I don't think is sustainable. So just because the state and the federal government might tick off on it won't guarantee my support. But I'm pleased that you're here today to share your views in favour of it, and I guess I'm equally interested to hear from you as
Sure.
well.
I've been tweeting you this morning anyway.
Oh, good.
One last thing. I'm sure everyone in this room will agree that tourism is certainly important for Queensland. Just so you know, there hasn't been any major tourism development in Queensland for the last 25 years due to red tape. Do you think that's a problem?
No, I wouldn't say there hasn't been development due to red tape, and I've had a chance to question the Productivity Commission about this very point in Senate estimates, because there's a lot of claims made that environmental laws slow down development, slow down productivity, and I put that question to the Productivity Commission: what are the drivers of productivity decline? And they did not mention either environmental laws or workplace rights laws. They talked instead about declining ore grades and a few other points that are less relevant to this context. So I really don't accept that environmental laws are slowing things down unnecessarily. I think it's very easy for the developers to make those claims. They just want a green light. But this is our environment. We all share it. It's not just there for them to make private profits from. It's something that we need to pass on to our grandkids, and that we need to keep in a good condition. So I support having strong environmental laws that make sure developments are subject to proper scrutiny. And I think rather than weakening those environmental laws, as unfortunately our federal government is currently proposing, we need to in fact strengthen them.
Okay, thanks. I'll sit down now.
Thank you.